What up, family? This video is about earthing and grounding and how to connect to everybody in the world that's also grounded. There's a lot of insulation that prevents us from connecting with the earth, and then our bodies end up getting all messed up. So I'm going to explain what grounding is, earthing, and why we all need to do it. See my shoe here? There's rubber on the bottom of this shoe. This is insulation. So I step on the rubber, I step on the wood, step on the concrete, and that insulates me. I can't connect to the earth. Now, we all need to know what grounding, earthing is. This is something that should be taught in schools because it's science and it's paramount. There are people that go years, people that probably go their whole life without connecting to the earth at all. That's because there's so much insulation around us. Hey, oh, to wash them? Hand quarters?
No, quarters for washing.
Okay. Just one?
Yes.
All right. There's the sign.
Right?
27. Okay.
Thank you.
Sure. What we do for money. What up, Triple Fourth? So I'm talking about earthing, grounding. It's called earthing and grounding. And that's when you take your shoes off and you walk around in the grass barefoot. And that grounds you to the earth. And I've seen a scientific experiment done where there's voltage constantly going through our body. Like if I'm touching this phone, there's 5 volts of electricity going through my body. And then this is going to mess up my nervous system. And then it could cause my blood to be thickening, cause heart disease, heart attack, constipation. Many diseases in the body can be prevented if we're just grounded to the earth. From just spending 1 hour walking barefoot in the grass, our blood begins to thin and it's easier to pump through our body, and overall you start getting healthy. So people in America, we're insulated. People can go 10 years or more, maybe even a lifetime, not being connected to the earth at all. So we have these power lines. I got all this electricity like sitting in this box. There's the computer, there's the outlets, and there's constant voltage going through my body. And I'm unable to connect to the earth. So there's probably like 8 volts of electricity going through my body right now. If I was holding this phone and walking around barefoot in the grass, there'd be 0 voltage of electricity. The electricity gets dissipated into the ground. And then when that happens, it doesn't affect our nervous system. So if I'm wearing rubber on my shoes, walking on concrete with my phone, I'm getting a constant voltage going through my body. And this is going to mess things up. So I take off my shoes, walk in the grass, and immediately there's 0 volts of electricity going through our body. So this is why a lot of people are getting sick. Living in Chicago, it was so cold, there was snow everywhere, it was impossible to connect to the earth the whole entire winter. And I was going out of my mind. I'm telling my parents, this is a horrible environment. At least if you lived in Arizona, you'd be able to kick your shoes off, go in the backyard and just connect with the earth for 10 minutes. But when you live in an environment like Chicago that gets below 0 for 8 months out of the year, you go 8 months without grounding, and then your body starts acting up. Plus you're sitting inside, you're not getting any sunlight, which is the perfect concoction to create disease in your body. Now, I take my shoes off here. Think of my foot like a plug. All right? See my foot? Just think of it as like an outlet that I plug into the wall. Now, when I take my shoes off and I walk in the grass, it's like I'm plugging myself into the earth. What's interesting is every single person that is also walking around barefoot at that exact time that I'm walking around barefoot in my backyard, we're all connected. We're all grounded together because I'm on the earth and I step on the earth barefoot, and then it's like all these electrical lines just going out everywhere. And then somebody can be walking barefoot in China. At that moment, when we're both walking barefoot, we are connected and we're exchanging information. This is a culture. This is a cult of people who walk around barefoot and ground themselves to the earth. There is scientific, medical benefits for grounding yourself to the earth. Your immune system doesn't get all whacked out. The voltage gets dissipated directly into the ground. But then also, when you're grounding yourself, walking around barefoot in the grass, or you could take your fingers and then just put them in the grass. You wanna connect with the earth. At that time, you're connected to all these other people that are also connected to the earth. So we're exchanging information. So you're going to start receiving different thoughts. And you're going to be having ideas and becoming more enlightened. And thoughts are going to pop into your head that are actually transferring from somebody else. There could be somebody in Jamaica that's walking around barefoot that knows a thing or two about the way that the world works. So the moment that you step on the earth barefoot and he steps on the earth barefoot, it doesn't matter where they are in the world. You are all connected at that time, and we're exchanging information. So what are the people receiving? What information are people receiving that are insulated, that are disconnected from the earth their whole entire life? They're not getting that information directly from the source. And the source is the sun. The sun hits our skin. Our skin is like a solar panel. It absorbs it, starts creating the vitamins, vitamin C, and then it helps our brain to function correctly. So we start thinking more accurately. But then when you're disconnected from the earth, your thoughts are going to be clouded. When you're wearing clothes, shut inside, you're not receiving sunlight, you're not getting the vitamin C, and it causes your brain to start malfunctioning. Plus, if we're on the second story of a building, like where I'm at in my house, my room is on the second story. I'm laying in my bed, which is completely artificial. We're supposed to be sleeping on the ground outside. And then our bodies will actually thank us. We'll be healthy. But I'm on the second floor. I'm holding a phone laying in my bed, which is insulating me. So all that voltage is constantly being transferred into my body, and it's not getting dissipated in the ground. We always want the voltage that we're picking up to be dissipated into the ground, so we don't want it to start messing up our nervous system. So that's the medical benefit of it. But then the information aspect is that when you place your foot on the ground, barefoot, in the grass, in your backyard, you are connected with every single person in the world that is also grounded to the earth at that time. And you're transferring information. So you start receiving thoughts and knowledge from other people. There could be tribe of Buddhists that live in the Himalayan mountains that are walking around barefoot. The moment that I go in my backyard and then I ground myself, I am connected with those people. I am one. Therefore, I receive information coming from them that they channeled from the source, which is the sun. So that's why there's so much insulation. That's why this is a wooden floor right here. That's why there is rubber on my shoes. I tried walking around my neighborhood when it was cold out, barefoot. And believe me, it hurts a lot walking on concrete with your bare feet. That's completely unnatural. And when you know about grounding, you start realizing how unnatural this environment that we're living is. Because normally people would just walk around. Walk in the grass, do their thing, live their life. So ground yourself to the earth. And we're going to raise our consciousness from just doing that. Plus our body is going to heal, and our nervous system is not going to get all jacked up because the voltage is going to be directly dissipated into the ground. So look up earthing. Look up grounding. It's like an electricity, a socket. Once you hit that ground with the bare foot, it sends out a message at the speed of light, and it connects to everybody else that's walking around barefoot. I just want it to really seep into my mind, so I understand how this works. And I understand the importance of grounding if I want to be healthy and if I want to reach a higher level of consciousness. So get outside, get some sunlight, ground yourself to the earth. I would love to make a video where I'm walking around barefoot, and then I connect with somebody else online that's also walking around barefoot. And at that time, transfer our information from just grounding to the earth. I don't even have to say anything. I could look at you directly in the eyes and send you a message, because at that moment we will be connected through the earth. So maybe Pastor Meese was right that we're dirt. Nothing! You're nothing! You're a dirty, wretched sinner! That's why I stopped going to church, because these people are fucked up. Just a way to perpetuate ignorance and prevent people from communicating and receiving knowledge. You need the information. You need the codes. The specific codes that are coming from the sun. And if you're not getting that information, you're missing out. And then people are going to be bringing false information to you, misinformation, and deceiving you. Because what you're readily presented with every day is lies. That's why you need to seek the truth, and you'll find it. Ground yourself to the earth. So then there's no voltage going through your body, and you're also connected with the other enlightened beings who are going with the flow of nature and not against it. All right, I think that about does it. This video is about grounding, earthing, triple fourth. Thank you for tuning in. Peace, family.